Hello, somebody. Come on in. You clicked. This is a safe place. Come on, I promise. Now, let's quickly address the elephant in the room.
You're not a turd, okay? I don't want you to feel that way coming in here with your hat in your hand.
I am Mr. Mafuchi, and what I'm gonna do is report to you the funny, unique, and silly news that happened while you were living your best life. What kind of stuff? Well, we go to Moscow, Russia, where a cat escaped its carrier in a train. The cat made its way to the conductor. Now, a conductor's a safe haven, right? Well, not this time. The conductor saw the cat, thought it was a stray, grabbed it, pushed it out the train. Now, luckily, the train was stopped. The cat, going by the name of Twix, was sent out of the train in sub-zero temperatures. Now, this all happened on January 11th. On January 20th, people caught wind as to the horrible debacle that the conductor conducted himself in. The people went on a frantic search to try to find Twix, and they did, but it was too late. He was a popsicle by that time. But the people's outrage didn't stop there, as they went on to create a petition, and 300,000 people, that's like a small country, signed that petition wanting to get that conductor fired, to have the company push that conductor out in the sub-zero temperatures, just like Twix was. As we're getting into petitions, another one was set up that 100,000 people signed to charge the conductor with criminal charges. I don't care where you are. You just don't throw a cat out of the train, stray or not. Now, the train company did publicly apologize to the family, as they deeply regretted the actions by the conductor, and have implemented new rules that, stray or not, a cat stays in the train. Now, my question is, why is it always after the fact that people have to implement new rules? I say this: if the rules apply to humans, because I'm sure the conductor would not have pushed a person out of the train, then it sure as hell should apply to animals of any type. Unless the animal's an aggressor and a predator, then we're talking a whole different ballgame, okay? I'm not out of the realm of reality. But domesticated pets, keep them on the train. All you conductors, keep them on the train. Next up, we go to Provo, Utah, where a 17-year-old teen wanted to get into some antics and some innocent fun. As we all do at that age, right? None of us are innocent. I'm looking at you, somebodies. The teenager randomly decided to tape fish, dead fish, tape them onto ATM machines. With a little more than a dozen reported incidents, and to top it all off, one fish taped to a police car. Why not? You know, in my time, we used to eat the fish, but hey, nowadays, this is a choice? The teen was charged with 2 misdemeanors, one being property damage. Not to mention that the cleanup was getting a little costly. You know how much time and effort takes to get fish juice off the buttons of an ATM? Ugh. And to top it all off, nobody knows how he got the fish, who his supplier was. Was he possibly making a statement pro or against fish? We'll never know. I just don't understand the kids nowadays, but I'm an old fart, so.
Hey, let's say I successfully perform oral to the point of ejaculation. Am I expected to swallow the discharge?
Okay.
Let's go to Marion, Indiana, where police and sheriff rescued circus animals. You remember the circus, right? Right? When a tractor trailer caught on fire due to equipment failure, the squad sprang into action as they rescued 5 zebras, 4 camels, and 1 miniature horse. Now, kudos to the police and sheriff department for being heroes to our 4-legged friends. My question is, I didn't know people still went to the circus, let alone that it was still around. I thought when the 2015 discovery that elephants were being abused in the worst ways, that the circus would take such a hit that it would just diminish and become extinct. But I guess that's not the case. They just chose to get another set of animals to continue. Now, if you're like me, and Dumbo being one of my favorite Disney films of all time, but also I was a kid and I did not know that elephants, even in the cartoon, were being abused in such a manner. Finally coming to the realization of this as an adult. So I'm not sure how to feel about the circus continuing to stay open for business, because who knows if these animals are going through something else that's in a negative connotation. We just don't know. I'm sorry to the circus and circus owners, but I feel if you go to Vegas, the majority of these acts are able to be seen by the people and the masses. But I truly hope that the animals are okay. Now let's go down under, where a 64-year-old woman was not feeling so hot, as she started to feel a little more depressed and forgetful. At the hospital, they ran multiple tests to try to figure out what was going on, but this was just such a riddle for them that they couldn't figure it out. Alas, one doctor said, well, let's check out her skull. We have nothing else that we can do at this point, so let's just do it. Turns out there was some kind of moving distortion on the frontal part of her brain. Doctors proceeded with forceps and investigated the brain. They ended up pulling out a 3-inch roundworm parasite. 3 inches, that's right, in your brain. After speaking with the woman and performing much research to try to figure out and tie the two things together, it turns out roundworms come from carpet pythons. And this woman lives next to a carpet python habitat. But here's the kicker, it gets better. This woman forages for native vegetation so she could bring in to cook and eat next to a carpet python habitat. More than likely, the woman consumed the worm eggs. She consumed them, and it went up to her brain. Okay. All right, I can do this. Worm eggs were consumed and went into... Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, all of us smell. You somebody's smell. But this is a good smell because you purchased this smell. For all of you that purchase perfume or cologne, man or woman at this point, doesn't matter. Ever notice that when you purchase the good stuff, it's because you notice the scent and the smell lasts a little longer throughout the day, right? That's why you pay your hard-earned money. Well, guess what? More than likely, a sperm whale is enhancing your fragrance as it emits ambergris, a waxy material, very rare as well, and only sperm whales have it. Now, this material is produced in the sperm whale's digestive system. That's right, you heard correct. Because when I break it down, ambergris is sperm whale vomit.
Oh my god, I'm totally bugging.
Now, ambergris is essentially there to protect the whales from sharp objects, but after a while, their body expels it and leaves it floating in the water. And many people are just searching for whale vomit. Believe it or not, they are. Now, although sperm whales are an endangered species, it's okay because they are releasing it all on their own and not forced by mankind in any way. So it's acceptable. Although, since they are endangered, some countries just don't accept it whatsoever and prohibit the possession and trade of ambergris. So, ladies and gentlemen, the next time you end your day or your night and you still smell that fragrance because of its staying power, just realize whale vomit smells so good. Ooh yeah. Now, let's go to celebrity birthdays. Tom, the mustache Selleck, turned 79 this week. Now, for all of you today, you'll know Tom Selleck as the lead in Blue Bloods. Now, for me, I know him from the movies 3 Men and a Baby, the sequel 3 Men and a Little Lady, and Mr. Baseball. Not to mention his TV show Magnum P.I. Although while that show was running, I was watching something else. And how about it? We get a bonus celebrity today. 2 for the price of 1. That's right. It is also Oprah Winfrey's birthday. And we will do it in her fashion. Because you get a birthday, and you get a birthday, and you get a birthday. Oprah Winfrey turned 70. And I mean, quite frankly, what can you say about the woman that nobody else has? Host of the most popular talk show of all time, wealthy beyond belief, entrepreneur up the yin-yang, but we all know this. We've known this for so long. So what is it that you can say about Oprah Winfrey that hasn't been said? Well, there is one thing. Oprah Winfrey is skinny, and it's not due to her company Weight Watchers. It's because of the popular Ozempic. So for Tom Selleck and Oprah Winfrey,
Happy birthday!
Now let's take a trip across the pond to the UK, where a 59-year-old man was just hanging out at home, alone. Well, not alone, with his hairless Egyptian Sphinx kitten. At some point, the Sphinx was feeling quite playful, to the point where while the man was coming downstairs, he decided to pounce on his leg. Well, unfortunately, it did not turn out so well for the man, as he lost his footing and tumbled down 14 steps, down, all the way down. The man sustained a fractured skull, a broken neck bone, 2 fractures in his spine, 9 broken ribs. 9! Not to mention, his broken ribs had multiple fractures. And to top it all off, blood in his lungs. Now in his condition, the man could not move at all, as you could imagine. And maybe we don't want to imagine. Not to mention, his phone was dead, so he could not call anyone. Now, this man is married, but his wife worked nights and wouldn't be back till the next morning. And to top it all off, the kitten Sphinx still felt playful throughout the night and just kept stamping on the man's chest. And the man couldn't do anything because he couldn't move. Now, when the wife arrived at 10 a.m. the next morning and found her husband in agony, she immediately called for help, called for the ambulance, and they came rushing right away. But understand this, he was like this the whole night. He was in complete and utter pain. Fractures, broken bones, blood in lungs. At the end of the day, here's the final results and a new life change for the man. It would be a long recovery, as 12 months would be the estimated time to hopefully get himself back in some decent kind of shape. Not to mention that he can't breathe on his own, so now he needs to have an oxygen tank with him. Now this man's profession is a musician, and in his current condition, he can't tour. So now he's also losing out on money. Now, the one thing you don't do is mess with someone's money. That's where I take umbrage. And yet overall, the man does not harbor any ill will towards the kitten. Now, let's get past the man, and now this is me, because even though this kitten caused all these issues just being a kitten, I am not simply giving him a pass. So let's analyze this situation a little further on a segment I call Guilty or Spared. Now, let's run down the key information. This is a kitten. It's playful. It doesn't know what to do. So long as it knows where the litter is and takes care of his business, for the most part, that's people's joy. At the same time, this kitten pounced on a man while coming downstairs. Now, I'm sure there's plenty of you that say, again, it's still a kitten. It didn't know what it was doing, but having fun. So let's look at the other scenario. Should the man have had better footing? If he didn't lose his footing, we wouldn't have this news. But he did lose his footing, and now it altered his life forever. So essentially, no matter how cute the kitten is, no matter how young it is, and no matter how bald it is the kitten guilty, or do we keep it? Honestly, if it's me, I will take all the due diligence and find the cat another good home. I won't take it to the pound, I won't do that, but I will find another good home for that kitten. But I would not be able to see that kitten ever again, because the kitten broke me. So today, the kitten is guilty. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, because I'm sure as I say this, there's going to be plenty of thoughts and opinions about this situation. And if that makes me the bad guy, then I am the bad guy. Guilty. Let's stay across the pond, England to be exact. Somebody's, do you like cheese? Do you love cheese? Well, check this out, because this may just be your thing, and you've been missing out. Every year there's a race where you can win your very own 7-pound cheese wheel. Is that a lot of cheese? I think it is, right? It's been a while since I've seen the cheese wheel, but that's a lot of cheese. Established in 1826, this type of race is where you start on top of a hill. You take the 7-pound cheese wheel, a double Gloucester cheese wheel, let's be specific. Now, since you're on a hill, guess what we're gonna do? The cheese wheel is round, and it's gonna go down the hill, 200 yards. The race is, you have to follow the cheese wheel or stay right behind it, as the first person across the finish line gets the cheese wheel, 7 pounds, because it's all worth it going down the hill. Unless you lose your footing, then guess what? Now, there are 2 separate races, believe it or not. One race for the women, where a 19-year-old ended up winning. Or you let me know if she won, because essentially she was knocked unconscious as she crossed the finish line and didn't really remember much, except being handed the 7-pound cheese wheel. Is that really a win?
It don't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning's winning.
And finally, let's go to Cali, Colombia. Not California, Cali, Colombia, as we report a carjacking. Now picture this. You're at an intersection, you stop, you have a person in front of you that's not moving as you want to go, but then soon after, a motorcycle approaches as well. Both of the assailants decide to get really aggressive with you and tell you to get out of the car. As this was going on, another motorcycle pulls up with 2 more assailants. Now the vehicle in question did have a couple inside of it, and 4 assailants decided to drag them out of the car. Now things were getting very real, as one of them put a gun to the woman's head while they forced the man to get on his knees.
Get down on your knees and tell me you love me.
As the man was on his knees though, the assailants changed their tune. All of a sudden, the man whipped out a box while he was on his knees. The man staged a gunpoint carjacking to propose to his girlfriend. Now after the woman smacked the hell out of him and composed herself, she finally did say yes. Now for all you couples out there that are getting close to popping the question, let me ask you this. Did this couple just take your idea or something close to it? Let me know in the comments if you had a wild proposal or a wild reaction to the proposal. Either one works. So that's what happened while you were living your best life. Good for you, by the way. If you made it all the way through, well, I'm the type of man that does suck it dry.
What is she talking about?
As always, I leave you with this. Don't be a sheep. Always be yourself. Because at the end of the day, you can't please everyone. And you're not going to. But ultimately, nobody does you better than you. Until next time, make sure to keep your porn off of shared IP addresses. This is Mr. Mafucci saying bye.